So today I would like to show you the dynasty that I showed you before, the Bourbon dynasty, and it's still continuing, but this is the third generation of the family. So I'd just like to show you the new generation. Versailles is gone. The Palace of Versailles is gone. We have the new palace here that was built for the royal family, and this is the rest of the town. But this is our main branch of the royal family, the crowned house of Bourbon. That's the king and the queen. And then you got House of Fontaine, House of Orleans, Bourbon, House of Valois, House of Romanov, House of de Royale, and House of Romanov Fontaine. So I'd like to show you some of the costume content that I've downloaded as well, because if you're into like palaces and stuff like that, then I think you'll really enjoy this. Okay, so here we are. This is our grand staircase in the palace. Funny, it's a strange layout. So this palace is in the centre of the staircase, is in the centre of the palace. The door to the right here leads into the king's apartments, and the door to the left leads into the queen's. So we're going to start off with the queen's rooms because I feel like you really like them, and I'm going to stop at each room and just show you, because I'm holding the camera with one hand. So here we have our first chamber. See all the beautiful paintings on the wall. It's like a drawing room, just like the first waiting room. Then we continue through the main room, the waiting room, into the monarch drawing room. This is like a large waiting room for the courtiers, people like that. The door over there leads into the king's apartments, and this door is into the queen's rooms. If you were a courtier at the palace, you would wait over here for the king, and you would wait over here for the queen. So each apartment is made up of drawing rooms and bedrooms and things like that. It's supposed to look as grand as possible. So here we have one of the queen's first drawing rooms, very simplistic, but this is it. And I hope you enjoy. I hope you like the look of it. Most of it's custom content. I don't think there's anything in this room that isn't custom content. Here's our second drawing room. The rooms will get grander as you enter into the apartment as well. So there's our second chamber. Then we have, this is like a little cabinet that belongs to the queen. She has a bathroom through there, and this is just like a little cabinet room, and it's also a very important room because it leads into the more grander rooms as you enter further into the apartment. So now we're in the more elitist rooms. Only very few can enter these rooms, and this room is smaller to represent that because only so few people can enter in here. There's a painting of Louis XVI on the wall, and some nice paintings, and some above the doors. And if we look out the window, I think that's the Chateau de Valois just out there, but we'll look at that another time. This is one of my favourite drawing rooms of the apartment. Look at the fireplace, got lions there and some nice large paintings again. The paintings really complement the rooms, really make them look better than they already are. Some nice Victorian sofas. And this is the Queen's dining room. This is where she'd sit in front of a small group of people, and they would watch her eat her dinners. And it's a small room because she doesn't have as many people come into the palace as the king would. But this is her eating chamber, or the grand couvert, as you might say. Then we have the Queen's drawing room. A lovely room, furnished very nicely. The furniture layout was inspired by the white drawing room at Buckingham Palace. We have a lovely Baroque rug on the floor and some nice paintings. So this is the large. This is like one of the. This is the last public room of the apartment. So now we're going to enter into the Queen's bedchamber, and I think you're going to enjoy this, because the bed is something that I've never seen before in The Sims. So we're just going to take a look. Here we have the Queen's bed, and this is her bedchamber. The walls are inspired by Marie Antoinette's bedroom at Versailles. Painting of Marie Antoinette just there. It's all based off of Versailles. It's a nice simplistic chamber, but it also has a touch of elegance and grandeur to it as well. Through here we have the Queen's Library. So you can see she's got an archway there looking onto the grand staircase, and this is just her private library where she can sit and study, go through papers, and it's just generally a very grand room. So now we're going to look at the Dauphin's apartments, the Crown Prince. We're going to look at his rooms now. There are some slight changes in the Dauphin's apartments, but not that many. Just the room layout and some of the art decoration. That's the Queen's staircase, which she takes to go to her bedchamber, to go to her apartments just here. And then down there is also the kitchens under this level. So here we have the Dauphin's drawing room. Similar to the Queen's, very grand. And then we'll just head on through. Here we have a very simplistic drawing room. As you can see, I said the art decoration is slightly more different here. For example, the paintings above the doors are different. If you wanted to know what they are, that's the birth of Louis one of them is the birth of Louis XIV. I think it's in the next room. But yeah, this is to do with Louis XIV, as you can see. There's him there. And then we have other things in the paintings. So we've got some very nice Baroque paintings in the palace. We have another small cabinet belonging to the Dauphin. Nice picture of Louis XIV on the wall there. Lots of pictures of monarchs hanging around in the palace because I wanted to give off a very monarchical environment. Here we have the Dauphin's bedchamber. Blue bed, green walls, 2 fireplaces in here for a bit of extra luxury. I do want to get something for the ceiling, like maybe some murals or something for the ceiling. And that's his view outside. I've already got a view of the pier just outside of the window. And then I believe, we have another drawing room. This is where you would enter the apartment. So if you were a courtier at the palace, this is where you'd enter. This is one of the rooms that you'd enter into. And this is the starting point of the apartment where we are now. We've entered round the back. Nice painting of Louis XVI on the wall. Some nice candelabra. And so this room is the Dauphin and Dauphine's eating chamber. So as you can imagine, they would sit here together and eat their dinner in front of an admiring crowd. And through that door over there is the Dauphine's apartments, which we will go and look at in just a second. But this is their eating chamber. I just wanted to show you. And this door here leads onto their staircase, the principal staircase of the palace, which they enter into the apartments. So now we're going to enter the Dauphine's rooms. Here we are, this is the first drawing room. Very similar to the other drawing room. I tried to make it look feminine, but I don't know if I captured that. But we do have some nice Victorian seating. Here is the Dauphine's bedchamber. We did have the sister of the king sleeping in here for a while, but now we have the Dauphine who sleeps in here. Carrying on through, the Dauphine's private cabinet. Carrying on through, I believe there might be another drawing room coming up. Yep. More or less similar to the other ones. I just wanted to make this palace look like similar to Versailles interiors. Obviously not as grand as Versailles, but something along those lines. So this is the Dauphine's private eating chamber. They do have a public one, like I just said, but this is her private eating chamber, where a select few would watch her eat her food. And then through these doors at the back here would lead to her cabinets and private quarters. Now we're going to take a look at the king's rooms. So this is the staircase that the Dauphine and the king would share. Through these doors here are leading to the king's apartments. This is the king's grand eating room. The first room you would see on entering his apartment. Oh no, sorry. This is the last room you would see on entering his apartment. Because again, we're entering through the back of the apartment, starting off with the most elaborate and grand rooms. Now we'll go and take a look at the king's bedchamber. We have a nice Louis XIV bed just there, and through here I believe we have the I wanted to put lots of paintings of Louis XIV everywhere to symbolise that this is a palace, home of kings. This is the king's council chamber. Again, I've used the same paintings in most of the rooms in the palace. And, this is basically, that's all there is. And we'll go and take a look at the rest of the king's rooms. But that is his bed, and I do like it a lot. So yes, now we're going to go into this room, into the next room. Nice drawing room here with a coffee table. What these rooms would be used for is for like the court to sit in and talk. They come here to be seen to these rooms. They come here to be noticed, to be seen. If you'd imagine it as a real palace. Obviously it wouldn't be like this in the game. But if you imagine it as a real palace, then yes, the courtiers would come into these rooms to be noticed, to be seen by the king. Here we have a nice drawing room, the other one. I keep calling them drawing rooms, I should really come up with names for them, but it's just, I don't know what to call them. But it's a nice cosy sitting room. I should put a coffee table in there or something. And there's another room here. Very simplistic, but still very grand at the same time. I didn't want to go too over the top, but this is nice enough, isn't it? King's private cabinet. It isn't really that furnished, but you can tell where I was going with it. And then, as I said before, these are the rooms that you'd see to begin with when you enter the apartment. So these are like the entrance rooms. The first rooms of the apartment. And then the second drawing room. Less grand, obviously, than the other rooms. The further you exit the apartment, the lesser the rooms, are in style. And then we're back to this room, the waiting room. And I haven't showed you the king's first room, which is just in here. And the family like using this room, as you can see. I don't know why, they're always in here. They've taken a liking to it. I will introduce you to each family member in just a moment. But this is your last room of seeing the grand apartments, and now I will introduce you to each member of the royal family. So this is Louis II. He is Louis II Bourbon. He is the third king in the Bourbon dynasty. We've had the first king, we've had Louis the... No, yeah. So the first king didn't really have a... because it wasn't official, so he didn't really have a title back then, because it was still early stages. But we've had three kings, so that's the first king. Then we've had Louis I, and now we have Louis II. Of the Bourbon branch of the ruling dynasty. He has some nice custom content on here. We can see he has a nice crown. If I just zoom in a little bit, you can take a closer look. And he has a King of France wig on, if you can see. Nice powdered wig with his white gloves, and you'll be able to see his pantaloons, which are of the George IV coronation pantaloons, and his nice white shoes. So that's the king, Louis II Bourbon. Then we have Alexandrina I. This is the queen. So in Oasis, we're currently in Willow Creek, but in Oasis Springs there is another branch of the Bourbon dynasty, and they're called the De Bourbons. The Bourbons. She's from the crowned house of De Bourbon, and she's wearing a lovely medieval kind of queen's dress because I found it quite grand looking, and so I wanted to dress her in something like that. She has a simplistic crown on with a Marie Antoinette hair. It's the Duchess of Devonshire hair, and she has a nice red dress on here, and she is currently pregnant. I think she's in her third trimester. No, she is in 20 hours. But this is the queen, and if you're wondering, she also has a type of skin on, which is called the royal skin, which I downloaded off the Sims resource, and it's just made a difference to her whole appearance. So then we have Charlotte Bourbon. Charlotte Bourbon is she is the sister of the king. She is dressed in a beautiful Palace of Versailles morning in the garden dress, which I downloaded off of Historical Sims. I don't know if you know, but she's got a lovely dress on here. It's just, I like them living in kind of the 18th century. I like them having that kind of thing. And this is Marianne. This is Marianne Bourbon, and she is one of the daughters of the king. She wears a silver crown. If you're wondering why is she wearing a crown if she's only a princess, it's because she is a member of the direct royal family. So she wears a silver crown, and all the kings and queens wear golden crowns, and she too has the Duchess of Devonshire hair. Then we have Henrietta Bourbon. Again, she has the silver crown with her silver jewellery, and again we have the nice morning in the garden dress with her Duchess of Devonshire hair. She is one of the daughters of the queen, one of the daughters of the king and queen, and now I want to show you their apartments, which are on the second floor of the palace. We're currently on the first floor. There's a ground floor, first floor, and second floor, so we'll go and take a look at their apartments on the second floor. So this is Henrietta's apartment. This is her first drawing room / dining room. Each daughter is given 2 rooms each, as well as a bathroom and kitchen, which is behind that door there.